Dagerheart. Dagerheart. Dagerheart, come and we want this to be done. Come, Mr. Mercerman, announce campaign for Dagerheart. Come and we want this to be done. Come, Mr. Sam, tell us about your cancer. Dagerheart, come and we want this to be done. It's Friday. I forgot to do this yesterday, but hey, only 2 more to go. I said I would do this up till Gen Con. Gen Con is only 2 weeks away. August 4th is when Gen Con starts. Coincidentally, also my birthday. If you want to know what to get me for my birthday, you can subscribe. So once August 4th, Gen Con rolls around, that's it. We're done talking about Dagerheart unless some major Critical Role Dagerheart news happens. And we do have some major Critical Role Dagerheart news. And for once, I think this is more important than the fans being upset because of what Brendan Lee Mulligan said. So first, let's get the normal shit out of the way and check the numbers. And then let's get to the 2 big news. All right. This week on the Twitch. What? Hello? Hello? Yes? Okay. I don't know what that was, but all right. The last thing they updated on the Twitch was 3 days ago with the Dagerheart 1.5 live update. Matt and that guy came on and talked about Dagerheart for about an hour. 12K subs. Four-sided view, episode 25, discussing the last episode of Critical Role with 44.8 views. Mitz Season 3 Roundtable, let it go. Let Mitz go with 19K views. Critical Role Campaign 3 episode 99. This is the flashback that Brandon Lee Mulligan is running. So it is running with, next to what's going on with Campaign 3. At this point, it feels like it's just padding Campaign 3. But apparently this explains things that happened in the past that make sense to what's going on in the present and the future of Critical Role Campaign 4. And that had 134K views. And then the repeat had 42.6K views on the Twitch. Over on the YouTube of views, we had Sam Reigel come out and make his announcement about why you haven't seen him in a while. We'll get to that in a moment. That had 1.5 million views. We had the Critical Role Campaign 3 Episode 12 Abridged Flashback with 17K views. We had the Four-Sided Dive Episode 25 discussing what's going on with Campaign 3 with 181K views. We had the follow-up with 37K views, and we had the Mitz Season 3 Roundtable with 33K views. Now, obviously, this numbers don't take into account what's going on over at Beacon because I have no way to get those numbers that I know of, and I don't feel like signing up on Beacon just to tell you the numbers. I assume for every number that's left Twitch and YouTube, that's 2 that have gone over to Beacon. So there we go. We have 2 big newses coming out from the world of Critical Role. The usual amount of people being upset, and I can't believe this. And it's like, guys, you know what? Just at this point in time, we just have to accept that no matter what Critical Role does, the fans will never, ever 100% be okay or behind them, except for this. Sam Reigel came out and very bravely talked about his recent battle with cancer. So if you're wondering why we haven't seen Sam in a while, and if you're wondering why Sam looked and sounded so weird the last couple times you have seen him, it's because Sam had cancer. He had cancer in the throat, apparently, and he had to get a surgery, and he had to have part of his tongue removed, which means he had to relearn how to chew, how to speak, which in his profession, wow, Sam Reigel is a voice actor, and now he's got to relearn how to do his entire job. Fortunately, I think he's smart enough that he's got a nest egg that he can rely on for while he deals with this. Does this mean he'll be able to continue voice acting? Don't know. I mean, maybe not the level he was, but he probably should still. He can still do Critical Role and other things like that. But so our best wishes go out to Sam and his family and his bravery for talking about this. And yeah, let's just 100% support Sam as he goes through this. Dealing with a friend or family member who has dealt with cancer, who has fought it, who is still fighting it, who has won the fight, who has lost the fight. Having lost multiple members of my family to cancer and having watched my mother survive multiple cancers. Yeah, nothing but love and support for Sam on this one and his family. So let's give him some time to recover and get all his engines running and not, try and be nice and at least go for an entire week without saying something shitty about him. So yeah, all our love and support to Sam. So that's the big news coming out of Critical Role. The other news is they claim they're done. They claim they're done. They have announced the final update for the open beta of Dagerheart. It is done. Open beta. Now, I think next comes Kickstarter. And maybe some more play tests, but as far as they're concerned, it's done, which is unfortunate because a lot of people are already saying it doesn't feel done. Here's one individual saying that at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things 6 things don't feel done so far. There's one individual pointing out one thing that they say don't feel it done yet. They're talking about how many more months of play testing they think they're going to have behind the scenes and front facing. So online, I don't know if it really counts as play testing when we watch them play through it, but maybe it does. But more likely, they're going to be doing play testing at cons, play testing on the thing. If there's going to be a Kickstarter, then you probably can, if you submit so much money to the Kickstarter, you can get in on a play test. Another person who says it feels it's undone. Another person who feels there's at least 2 things. So yeah, basically the general, from just my initial reading of these things and responding to people when the announcement from Matt and Steven that the beta is done, and I guess they're going over to the next phase after the beta, is it doesn't feel finished, which means, they're still going to be playtesting it, guys. So give them some more leeway. Don't start hanging them yet. Put the torches down, put the pitchforks down. The beta's done. They're still playtesting. They're still the Kickstarter. They've still got at least 6 months to a year before it hits the road. And if they're smart, they will wait at least 6 months to a year after D&D 2024 hits the shelves in September to see how well or how poorly D&D 2024 does. Right now, there's 2 main games and 1 third game poised to jump in and be Pathfinder. The first year of 4th edition definitely waffled and people were like, but then Pathfinder came along and people were like, oh yeah. But there was a time period there where 4th edition was by itself. Now we don't know how ready Pathfinder was, but definitely it feels like they waited a good amount of time to test the waters. But there's a lot of other shit going on that that's not the point. So right now, MCDM and Daggerheart and Tales from the Valiant and Pathfinder are all poised to jump in should 2024 D&D falter. The big thing that Daggerheart has that nobody else has, of course, is the Critical Role fan base. All they have to do is say campaign 4 is going to be Daggerheart, and there's a huge percentage that all that Critical Role D&D money will go running over to become Critical Role Daggerheart money and signing on to Beacon. And even if they say, the secondary, as long as they say there's going to be a campaign using Daggerheart, a percentage of the fans will support that. And that's the one thing that Critical Role has that Tales from the Valiant and MCDM don't have. Pathfinder already has a built-in fan base, so they're just waiting to see, the people playing Pathfinder are going to still play Pathfinder. Paizo's ready to accept anybody to the Pathfinder ranks who doesn't feel like D&D 2024 is for them. Tales from the Valiant's already out there. They've already said what their mission statement is. So if you want to continue playing 5e as you know and love it without dealing with Wizards of the Coast nonsense, Tales from the Valiant's there. Then we have the dark horse, of course, is that 2014 5e still technically exists. Right? So you could still play 2014 5e technically forever. There's enough third-party stuff that even if you went through every single solitary third-party module Cobalt has made, and it would take you a long time. I don't think you could do it in one lifetime to go through every third-party. So there's enough third-party 5e stuff out there that normal 5e players who don't want to jump the fence are fine. So that's something that we have to think about. We got 2024 D&D, which is it's going to sell. It's not going to sell as much as Wizards thinks it's going to sell, but then Wizards doesn't want it to sell as much as we think they want it to sell. They want it to fail. They want 2024 D&D to fail. That's obvious. Look how they're treating it. So yeah, the big question is who? FYI, it's Piezo. Pezo, Pizzazo. Whatever I say it is. When they send me a t-shirt, I'll pronounce their name correctly. Because I'm petty. Yeah, okay. So really, Daggerheart has the advantage of the built-in fan base, which they need, if they manipulate correctly, bam. MCDM, what has that got going for it? I think, Coville came out and said something recently, and people were just like, that's dumb. And we still don't know if it's going to be ready. Tales from the Valiant is ready to go. They've made their mission statement. So between Tales of the Valiant and pre-existing 5e, that's the dark horse. That's the dark horse. That's the one we haven't really considered. Maybe people don't jump ship at all. Maybe people just go, I've got 5e. I've got 10 years of 5e. I've got hundreds of third-party 5e product out there that I could use. Wizards of the Coast can't come to my house and tell me you can't play 5e. They could try sending the Pinkertons, but no. So there's nothing to stop you if you're playing 5e 2014 to just go, fuck it, I'm going to still play it. And when I've gone through every 5e module that Wizards made, I've got an entire treasure box of third-party 5e stuff, 10 years worth out there. I think I'm okay. People won't jump ship unless they're online, and they will be forced to. So you think people will still just play 6e no matter what, I guess. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be as big as we think it's going to be. It'll do fine, but I don't know if it's going to be the $1 billion franchise lifeboat that Wizards needs. It'd be easier for them to just do D&D Go and Magic the Gathering Go and have it work the same way as Pokemon Go, and they could just make billions. Look how much money Monopoly Go made. And they're going to go digital anyways. So, yeah, I don't know. I think 5e, if you're already playing 5e, I don't think it's going to be as big as a landslide as people are predicting. I think more likely people are going to say, hey, you know who makes a ton of 5e stuff? These guys make 5e stuff. I can just buy their shit. I don't need to buy your new shit, Wizards of the Coast. I've got a ton of 5e stuff. When I've gone through all of their 5e stuff, I can go to Cobalt and do their 5e stuff. When I've gone through all the Cobalt Press 5e stuff, 10 years worth, well, I'll probably be dead. But the person who comes after me has got all the Green Ronin 5e stuff and all the other 5e stuff and all the independent 5e stuff. And then it's easy to, and then it's not even counting converting older stuff to 5e, which doesn't take that long. Oh, they're coming out with D&D Go. Trust me, Monopoly Go took 7 years to create. I don't know how D&D Go would work. Would it work like Pokemon Go? Or more like just a teeny little D&D board gamey thing that you play, and as you move around and buy things, things change. So it'd be somewhere between Monopoly Go and Pokemon Go, I guess. But really, it wouldn't have to do anything. It could just be a clicker like Banana. As long as you call it D&D Go, people are going to download it. I downloaded D&D Go. What's it do? Nothing. Thanks for your $5. So that is the second to last Dagger Heartbeats. I said I would stop doing this as of August 4th when Gen Con starts and we have the final news from them, hopefully. Until then, I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Twice Stephen Glicker of Roll for Combat has reached out to it. Appreciate you very much, Stephen. You are awesome. Talk to y'all later. Let me know what you think of the new music. See ya.